So today we're going to look at the new HAWKWIND box set, Doremi, Fasol, Latido. Today is Saturday the 9th and this comes out on Monday the 11th, and I pre-ordered mine from the Atomhenge Cherry Red website and it's come early. The previous one 2 months ago, In Search of Space, actually came after release date, so I guess those of us who sort of paid in advance, some of us have been lucky. So we're going to take a look at that, and right next to it is a copy of Spectres by the Bloister Cult in the new 1,500 copy limited edition red vinyl. That's just there for sort of like rock and roll context, yes, really, because behind all you can see is loads of old science fiction paperbacks. So we'll take a look at the box set now. So of course, something that loads of HAWKWIND fans on social media always say is that these box sets are really expensive, I don't have a surround sound system, blah blah. And yeah, it is what it is. And I must say, this one I think was $89.99, and I do think that's expensive because it's not so much the discs and the content, it's the presentation. The actual packaging, the boxes and everything are very, very flimsy, and I'm not very impressed with them, and I continue to be unimpressed. But this is the way things are going. You're seeing lots of classic albums now reissued in digipacks, which are horrible. But, you know, ultimately it is the music that matters. But we'll have a look at the package. So obviously that's the front there. And this, of course, is HAWKWIND's third album, a classic album that anybody who loves psychedelia or space rock will know. And there's the back. And what do you get? Well, you get the first CD, the original album remastered, with some bonus tracks: Born to Go, the live single version; Lord of Light, the German single version, because of course there was a single in Germany, as that implies; Urban Gorilla, and Brainbox Pollution. So it's all stuff we know. The second CD is new stereo mixes by Stephen W. Taylor, and so far these have gone down better, it seems to me, from what people are saying, than the Steve Wilson mixes he's done for HAWKWIND before. And Stephen Taylor seems to be firmly on board. And these all seem to be done at Real World Studios in Box in Wiltshire, which is literally about 10 minutes drive from me. So they're done locally. So I guess I could sort of go and knock the door one day and say, can I come in and listen to you mix the next one? That won't happen, of course, though I do know two people who used to work there. And you've got the album again, and the bonus tracks with the new stereo mixes include Take What You Can, which is the most obscure track on here, though it has been released before; the October 72 remake of 7x7, a take of Brainbox Pollution Take 3, which I think is unreleased. I'm not one of these people who delves into the real detail on every single thing, but I think that's unreleased; and Urban Gorilla and Brainbox Pollution. So these are different mixes, and what you will find with what Stephen Taylor does is some things are sometimes longer or quite different, and they're often very revealing and interesting. And that's what I like about these box sets. You get alternate takes and different versions often of material you know really well. If you love the music, it's good to get another insight into it. The third CD is Greasy Truckers Party, of course, and new stereo mix and all the usual tracks that we know. The 10th track is Brainstorm Jam. I'm not sure if that's been released before, but I will say I've never owned Greasy Truckers Party. I'm a huge HAWKWIND fan, but I'm an exception in that I tend to prefer the studio albums. I've never been a completist on the live album front, and I've never thought they're important as people say they are, but that's just me. Then there's two Blu-ray discs. There's the Blu-ray audio, or BRA, of Doremi, Fasol, Latido in 24-bit 5.1 surround sound. There's also stereo mixes, and it's the album plus the bonus tracks which are on the new stereo mix CD. And there's also the Urban Gorilla video, which everybody knows. Then there's another Blu-ray, so this is two Blu-rays in this: Greasy Truckers Party, and again in 5.1 surround sound stereo mixes. As I say, because I'm not a massive fan of some of the early live archive material, it'll be interesting to see how that scrubs up. So that's what you get. And as I say, my main problem with these is the packaging. I think is quite inadequate. So you've got the booklet. And last time I did one of these, somebody complained about, oh, I didn't show much of the booklet. Well, the reality is unless you're a newbie and you've never read anything with HAWKWIND, you're not going to learn a huge amount from the puff pieces that tend to be in the booklets. Obviously, there's the lyrics there of Lord of Light, taking its title, of course, from Roger Zelazny's novel, Lord of Light. It's not a lot to do with the Zelazny novel, but it is a great song, as we know. And then we get the verbiage, which Bob Cabot wrote, the sort of conceptual side, blood greetings, oh brother, from our great space mother, which is the little sort of space opera part on there for us science fiction fans. Then a classic piece of artwork that we all know and love, which is great, isn't it? Really, it really is fantastic. And you get more of this, which I think is a cop out to pad the booklet out, and then thermochemistry, and it talks you through the situation around Doremi, what was happening, Lemmy and Simon King joining, you know, Silver Machine being a big hit single, and then the rest to get the album out in time for the Space Ritual tour. So you get quite a bit about that, and most of the rest of the verbiage in here is just about Steven Tyler's mix, and you know, he sort of describes it and it gives you points to watch out for, but of course you listen to it yourself. So there you go, that's Greasy Trucker's artwork there, of course. And I don't know who Byzantium are. Brinsley Schwartz and Man I know really well. I saw Man several times. Brinsley Schwartz with all their records. Yeah, so you get the sort of artwork as well. So this is what you're seeing. So for those of you who want to see more of the booklet, this is what you get. It's black and white and silver, of course, and you get a bit of red there. Now I've said that from International Times, and then you get some reproductions from the tour program. I always loved this. The show is over, the audience turn to leave and put on their coats and go home. No more coats, no more homes. That's very New Worlds, New Wave SF, that. Then you get the breakdown of the track listing, which we've already gone through. Tells you all about that. And interestingly, on the previous box set, Terry Ollis didn't get a mention. There was a fail there, but they seem to have got the lineups right on these. So this really is what you get. There's some pictures, most of which we've seen before, and the lyrics, which are always nice to have in case we misheard stuff. And we're all familiar with that phenomenon of mishearing things, and what we mishear is often more interesting than what we heard. But I must say I like the lyrics. I think the lyrics are really good, and lyrics are really important. Photos of the tape boxes, which I think is of minimal interest, but some people love to rave over this. The labels of the original release and the Liberty reissue. Single covers, of course, most of which are familiar to us. And the Space Rats image. Some lyrical snippets from Brainbox Pollution and The Watcher. More of the same. This is the sticker from the exterior of the box. I managed to get that off the shrink. So there you go. That's the booklet. Booklet out of the way. Then we get the insert. This is very, very light card. And I have to say that the slipcase as well is quite light. This should be a lot harder. And what I found with this was that when I opened it up, these are the CDs. They were just skittered everywhere. And obviously it depends on what sort of mailing process it's gone through. And that's the 3 CDs. And the 2 Blu-rays included were in shrink wraps, and they're digis. And what I've done, I've taken them out of the shrinks and I put them into sturdier packaging, because I will basically file these with the regular CDs, because I will play the Blu-rays a lot more than the actual CDs, I'm sure. So there they are. We will come back to those in a moment. So as you see, here we are, and we've got the first disc, the remaster of the album, the Steven Tyler stereo mixes, and there we've got the Greasy Truckers Party remix. So, you know, it's all sort of archive and new material, and that is basically it, the equivalent of the album sleeve. Looking at the Blu-ray audios, here we go. We got the classic artwork there, which is nice, and there we are. 5.1 surround sound stereo mixes. At the moment in 5.1 there's a new thing. A lot of people, I say a lot of people, a lot of the stuff that's coming out tends to have a Dolby Atmos mix on it as well. Not many people have got Atmos. If you have, that's absolutely fine. If you buy those things, they usually have a down mix. You can listen to them standard 5.1 or DTS, and I got some Thin Lizzy ones recently, and obviously they're not in the same ballpark as HAWKWIND, nowhere near as interesting. So there you go. So that's the Blu-rays, and you get the Space Rats poster. This is a piece of artwork I've never been that fond of personally. I'm not that struck on it. It's not one of my favorite pieces of Hawk art. there you go. And that is effectively it. What's the music like? I haven't played it yet. You'll know the album or you won't. I'll make some comments about that on probably on the HAWKWIND sort of Facebook pages, the unofficial ones. And there we go. And we'll finish. I'll show you what the menu screens look like. I won't be able to have the music because of course it's copyrighted. So there's a little insight into what the new box set looks like. As I say, my main beef with it is the fact that I think the packaging could be a lot stronger for what you're paying, but that's the case. But you've got to remember that this has been a groundbreaking run of HAWKWIND reissues, not just as HAWKWIND reissues, but as surround sound reissues. A major thing. I mean, the one they did a while ago, which had Quark, Strangers and Charm, PXF5 and Hawklords 25 years on, that had 3 albums in 5.1, and that's unprecedented. I collect a lot of surround rock. I've got quite a lot. I've been collecting it for years, since it started to appear on DVD audio back at the very beginning of the century. And I can honestly say I can't think of a single box set that's had 3 albums in it. And the In Search of Space one is absolutely fantastic. So I'm looking forward to playing this. And I lead off now to the end of the video with some shots of the menu screens. Thanks for watching.